I used to struggle with discipline for most of my life. I couldn't wake up early unless work forced me to. I couldn't stick to meditation. I couldn't stay consistent with simple habits like walking daily. I couldn't quit bad habits for more than a few days, and I wasted hours every single day on YouTube and social media. The worst part? This was during a time when I knew I needed to change. I wanted to improve. I wanted to level up. But the longer I failed to follow through, the more my self-trust dropped. And once self-trust starts collapsing, your mental health follows it down. You start questioning yourself. Why can't I just do what I say I'm going to do? Without discipline, nothing changes. You stay stuck in the same patterns, repeating the same frustrations. You never build consistency. And without consistency, the life you imagine for yourself stays imaginary. So you look online. You see all these high-performance guys saying, just be more disciplined, want it more, work harder. And when you're already trying and still failing, that advice makes things worse. It lowers your self-image, it increases hopelessness, and ironically, that programs you to be even less disciplined. Here's what most people don't understand. Those successful entrepreneurs and athletes didn't build their lives through brute force willpower, because willpower is limited. There was a famous experiment where participants sat in a room filled with the smell of fresh cookies. Some were allowed to eat them. Others had to sit there and eat plain vegetables while resisting the cookies. Afterward, they were given a difficult puzzle. The group that had to resist temptation gave up much faster. Why? Because they had already drained their mental energy resisting the cookies. Willpower runs out. So if discipline were just about forcing yourself all day, the most successful people would burn out constantly. That's not what's happening. What actually separates disciplined people is this: their behavior is automated. It's part of their programming. When something becomes your default setting, it no longer requires constant resistance. You're not fighting yourself all day. You're not negotiating. It's just what you do. Think about tying your shoes. You don't use willpower for that. It's automatic. Imagine if working out, waking up early, or staying productive felt that automatic. That's the real game. Because once most of your habits are automated, your willpower is preserved for the few moments you truly need it. So how do you get there? First, your reasons aren't strong enough. I know that sounds harsh. I used to believe I had solid reasons too, but your brain always chooses the fastest route to what it wants. If your reason for success is so I can relax and enjoy life, your brain will say, you can relax right now. If your reason is so I can attract people, your brain will say, there are shortcuts available immediately. When your long-term goal can be substituted by a short-term dopamine hit, discipline collapses. So you need two types of reasons. One, what you're moving toward, and two, what you're running away from. Running away is often more powerful. If nothing changes in your life, not next week, not next year, but 5 or 10 years from now, what happens? It doesn't stay the same. It declines. What does that version of your life look like? How does it feel? What regrets pile up? What opportunities disappear? You need to sit with that, feel it, then flip it. What do you actually want? And don't stop at surface level answers. Ask yourself why at least 5 times. Why do you want that goal? And why does that matter? And why does that matter? Keep digging until you hit something emotional, something real. For me, waking up early stopped being about productivity. It became about building a life I could be proud of, about creating security, about not looking back one day feeling like I wasted my potential. When your reasons become that clear, discipline becomes non-negotiable. The second shift is identity. There was research showing that people who describe themselves as disciplined actually faced fewer moments of temptation throughout their day. They didn't use more willpower, they used less. Why? Because their behavior matched their identity. If you see yourself as someone who tries to be disciplined, you're constantly fighting urges. If you see yourself as a disciplined person, your actions align with that belief. Your brain loves consistency. It wants to behave in ways that confirm who you believe you are. So every time you follow through on a habit, reinforce it. This is who I am. Not I'm trying, not I hope I stick with it, but I'm the type of person who does this. When I struggled with most habits, I still went to the gym consistently. Why? Because being someone who trains was part of my identity. There was no debate. That's the goal. Zoom out to your reasons when you feel weak, then zoom into your identity when you take action. Over time, repetition programs your default setting, And once discipline becomes your default, everything gets lighter. You're not dragging yourself through the day anymore. You're just living in alignment with who you decided to be. And when that happens, the biggest obstacle between you and your goals isn't motivation, it's just time. That's how you remove the discipline bottleneck from your life. Not through yelling at yourself, not through watching endless motivational videos, but by changing your reasons and shifting your identity. Once those are aligned, discipline stops feeling like force. It feels natural. And that's when progress becomes inevitable.